It's Tuesday, March 4th, 2008. This is Variant Edition. Welcome to Variant Edition, your source for comic book news and culture. I'm Mike. Variant Edition is the first weekly video podcast about comics and comic culture. We started way back in February 2006, and we're still dedicated to bringing you the best in everything related to comics. We've got some cool feedback since we asked last week for our international viewers to drop us a line or comment, so we're going to extend the invitation again. If you're watching us from a country that isn't in North America, leave a comment or send an email to kevin@variantedition.com. We'll read some of those comments and emails in a few weeks on the show. Like I said, the feedback is great and may actually help us improve the show. We do actually listen here. But for now, let's focus on the present. I'll be back later in the show with some first looks, but before that, it's Lewis with a rundown of what comics are out this week. So sit back and get ready for a quick dose of comic book knowledge that will prepare you to step into your comic shop this week.
Hi, I'm Lewis, and here's a look at what comics you can expect to find in shops this week. After the rundown, I'll be back with our pick of the week. So that's a look at what's out this week. Our pick of the week? Well, we had a hard time picking just one. There's a long-awaited Unhuman Art of Ladron featuring some badass Elephant Man art, Darwin Cook's follow-up to The New Frontier with a new special, and even Stephen King's Dark Tower, The Long Road Home #1. But we're going with something different. Check out Pax Romana #2. It's a strange mix of art, sequential storytelling, and chunks of prose. The setup is that the Catholic Church created a time machine and sent back a team to fix things. Of course, nothing goes as planned, and history takes some new unexpected turns. If the rest of the series is as intriguing as the first issue, expect to find something very unlike anything else on the shelves.
Hi, I'm Nick, and these are your headlines for Tuesday, March 4th, 2008. It's still months away, but the San Diego Comic-Con is already starting to get quite a bit of press. First, it was the mad rush to find a room within a few miles of the convention, and soon it will be announcements of various comic creators and movie stars set to attend. But over the last few weeks, there's been a rumor circulating that Barack Obama, the Democratic hopeful president, might be considering attending the Nerd Prom to interact with a key demographic. The rumor started online when Comic Mix's Michael Davis wrote that he endorsed Obama. But Newsarama reported last week that Comic-Con International has not been contacted by the campaign about any appearances. So why news report on a debunked rumor? We just wanted to run that picture. Some quick comic news. Rick Remender is joining Pat Olive on the all-new Atom starting this week's issue. Paul Pope is set to contribute art to the Lone Ranger #11, Anthony Wasteland Johnston and Ben 30 Days of Night Templesmith's Dead Space #1 is set to hit this week. It's a comic prequel to a video game due late this year, but based on their previous work, it should be worth a look. And IDW's latest, Lock and Key, might be crossing from print to screen. Dimension Films picked up the TV and movie rights according to Variety. Now let's talk of moving pictures with Eddie.
Thanks, Nick. It's good to be back. First up, if you missed it last week during Lost or haven't seen it on MySpace yet, the new Iron Man trailer is online and in high def. We get more shots of the Shellhead in action and a re-rendered look at Iron Man vs. a tank. Just 2 months to go before we get to see the rest of the movie. The Incredible Hulk is the next movie up from Marvel this summer. So far we've seen very little, but that is probably by design to keep Iron Man as the main attention getter. But there are a few shots from the movie out there, including this cool page from Empire magazine. The spectacular Spider-Man is set to premiere this weekend on CW. Check out 2 back-to-back episodes starting at 10. But don't expect any Batman-Spider-Man team-ups on Saturday mornings. The Batman has been canceled. While it didn't start off very well, the last 2 seasons saw a huge jump in story quality. Expect the last 2 episodes to air in the next few weeks. And finally, Variety is reporting that the Justice League movie may be back on track. Reportedly, they are back in pre-production with the script set to get a new pass, and the actors are getting the word to stick in the gym to keep training. Warner's is hoping to have it ready for a 2009 release. I'll be back next week with more TV and movie news, including a look at the Dark Knight marketing campaign. Back to you, Nick.
Thanks, Eddie. Wrapping up, Marvel announced they are planning to release Spanish-language versions of the Ultimate X-Men Ultimate Collection Volume 1 and the Ultimate Spider-Man Ultimate Collection Volume 1. Collecting the first year of both series, this marks the first time that they will be available in Spanish in the North American market. With such a large Spanish-speaking population in the US, it seems like a no-brainer to us. Plus, with Marvel licensing their comics around the world, it's easy to grab the translations from overseas and release them here. Here's to comics as a universal language. Alright, that's it for the news this week. I'll see you next week.
Alright, so me and Lewis are here for your first looks this week. Quick reviews. You guys seem to enjoy them, so we're going to keep doing them. And first up, we've got Punisher War Journal. I didn't read this.
I did. Punisher War Journal 17. Great. Matt Fraction's doing a couple standalone stories lately. I guess they're gearing up for the next story arc. This is a great story. It kind of gives the backstory to his little partner, Clark. And he's got a very deviant past. If you know who he used to be, his alter persona. I'm not going to give that away, but great issue. He gets the best of his adversary in the end of the issue, and it's just a nice little, one-shot story, kind of what comics used to be back in the day. Since Now,
let me ask you a question. Does this War Journal have the weapons diagnostics like the old War Journal used to have?
Sadly, no, not really. Like they kind of go into the technical sides when he makes them weapons, but he won't be like, here's a briefcase full of stuff.
Today that sort of information. Whatever.
No.
Uncanny X-Men. We both read this.
Yeah, I actually like this issue a lot. I'm getting used to Brandon Choi's artwork. Very clean stuff. Good story. Kind of weird. I'm kind of confused with the whole hippie thing going on in San Francisco.
There's a weird 60s vibe going on in San Francisco with nothing going on in Russia other than, Colossus going home.
Yeah, well, actually, there was a big, I don't know if it's the way I read it, but there was a big kind of spoiler moment at the end with, they kind of gave away the ending.
Yes, we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
Read it.
Read it.
That's all you can do.
Yes.
And, 12.
The 12.
I read 12.
Yeah.
I read the 12. Have you been reading the 12?
I read the first couple issues, and I like it a lot so far.
I find the story intriguing. This is my first shot of this. I think I'm on issue like 72 or something. Nah, it's like 6. But for those of you who don't know what the 12 is, it's people who were heroes back in the day, 12 of them to be precise, hence the title. They got frozen and to be reawakened when they were needed kind of thing. But they kind of got lost. So now they're back in our time, and it's like 30 years later.
So kind of had like the Captain America feel.
It's like, what do we do?
Yeah.
With themselves. But like, it's crazy. There's like, this guy is reminiscing in this bar where like, I guess it's in like Harlem or something now, but like it used to be a place where like Irish cops used to go hang out. And he's talking about the story about this guy who was the master of zombies, cleverly named the Zombie Master. Awesome. This is like it's a throwback story, and I'm really enjoying the retro feel to it. And last up on the looks here, we got Moon Knight.
Yes,
I didn't read this. You read Moon Knight.
My favorite book. Not because of who's writing it and who's drawing it. Well, actually, yes, it is. Here we got Moon Knight, one of his old adversaries from the 80s, kind of making his step up, making his little comeback into the spotlight again. He looks like he's going to frame Moon Knight for a murder that he didn't commit, actually, for once. And it's really good. It's building up to something big is going to happen to Moon Knight. Either it's going to be a complete mental breakdown, he's going to kill himself, or, you don't know what's going to happen. But I love the writing in this book, and it's just a complete,
Is Moon Knight still crazy?
Oh, yeah.
Is he a cutter?
Yeah, big time cutter.
Big time cutter?
Big time cutter.
Does he have a food problem, too? Like, he throws up when he's done eating?
Actually, just eats medication all the time. So.
Eats medication? No food?
No food.
Strictly medication diet?
Strictly medication.
Don't try that at home, kids.
No.
All right, that's it for Variant Edition Tuesday this week.
Yeah, we got a bit of news for all of you this week.
So we're allowed to talk about it already then.
That's right. Kevin gave us the go-ahead, and the ink is drying as we speak.
Excellent. So if you don't know, the New York Comic Con is being held in April this year.
Yeah, April 18th, 19th, and 20th to be exact.
Absolutely. And like we have for the last 2 years, we'll be there to cover it.
Yeah, well, that's not really news, is it?
No, that's not really news.
But the news is that, like last year, we're going to have a table at the show.
Ooh, so for anyone attending, if it's not enough to watch our ugly mugs on your computer, you can see us in person.
That's right, you could touch my beard if you want. But that's not all the big news. Starting next week, we'll actually be running most of the footage that we shot at last year's show.
I hope somebody walks up and asks to rub your beard now. That's a great idea, is to promote this year's show by showing everyone how great last year's show was.
Ingenious! And,
Absolutely.
yeah, we just think that Kevin is getting way too much sleep. You need more work, Kevin.
Absolutely. So look for that starting next week. We've got tons of interviews that the world needed to see last year, so we'll get to see them this year.
You know, better late than never. Anyway, speaking of which, apparently all of our viewers out there hate Fallout Boy, so congrats to you guys. You hate him as much as I do.
And apparently I worried about nothing.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten any hate mail. So if you didn't react yet, you've still got time. And trust us, we will read all the hate mail we get by next week on the show.
I think it should be interesting.
Yeah, but speaking of hate mail, there's one thing I just gotta say. If we're at the con, and you're at the con, and you happen to see us at our table, and you want to come and be like, oh, you guys suck, why don't you have some hot chick on there, you all terrible, I don't like what you read, you can go So if you're one of those guys, I just don't want to hear it. Just don't.
Right, so before we go, don't forget that as part of Season 3, we've upgraded to a higher resolution version for our podcasts.
And if you've got your computer or favorite media player hooked up to your TV, you can pretend that we're actually accepted on television, just like me and Mike do.
Yep, it's sad, but true.
So
you can
very
also
true.
check us out at our regular haunts at Blip TV, YouTube, Google Video, or a super high-res and BitTorrent distributed views versions.
And if you don't know where to find all that Variant Edition goodness, just check out variantedition.com. We've got the links to them all right there.
All right, it's time to wrap it up, but before we go, we'd also like to thank Classic Comics, our host for this and just about every episode.
Yep, Classic Comics in Rahway, New Jersey is your friendly neighborhood comic shop.
Check out ClassicComics.com for more information about how the shop, including how you can save up to 20% on your comics every week.
That's some major green right there.
That is a lot of green.
Some major green. So, yeah, that's about everything for this episode. We'll see you later in the week.
Like my pregnant pause?
How many times have we read that by now?
Yeah, but you like that pregnant pause? Or like...
You did by now.